Actually, I don't know if you guys noticed, but then our property stocks collectively hasn't been looking that great. Actually, from October last year, collectively, it's down 30% already, performing worse compared to other sectors. Could anyone please enlighten me on what's causing this underperformance kaya? So do we think na this is going to continue or time to bet our money and say na pwede na to? This could be potentially be the bottom. Sir John, any thoughts on this one?
Actually, the other day, when yung US 10-year yield went down to as low as 3.9, I said na potentially magkaroon ng parang technical bounce ang property sector. But then now the 10-year yield is back to 4.3, 4.4. I'm not sure the exact number right now. Biglang bumalik because yun nga, there's a lot of people selling treasuries, which is exactly the opposite of what you usually see when there is a threat of recession. Kasi diba, the tariffs were threatening to really slow down the global economy. Kaya nga from 4.4 mga 4.5, actually as high as 4.8, nahulog yung 10-year yield to 3.9. But then sobrang swift ng rebound ng US 10-year Treasury from 3.9 to 4.4 yesterday. I think it settled mga sa 4.3. Na I don't know if kasi we need lower rates to be supportive of the property sector. And if the US yung 10-year yield ng US mataas, it will prevent the Fed from cutting. And yung BSP natin, although they cut 25 basis points a day, you cannot aggressively cut if the US yields are higher. So kasi from my standpoint talaga, toxic talaga yung right now, 'di ba? Toxic talaga yung fundamentals ng real estate sector natin. But I was thinking na at 2 days ago, 3 days ago, with yields falling, baka ito na yung technical bounce that we've been all been anticipating and waiting for sa property sector. So parang akala ko the financial markets would actually bounce ahead of fundamentals.
Hmm. Parang ito na yata yung sinasabi ni Kuya John kanina na, I mean, someone's selling US Treasury.
Someone selling US treasuries.
Pwedeng country, pwedeng just some big guys, but then we don't know at the end of the day.
Yes. That as I said, 'di ba, according to Trump nga, that's what actually yung parang changed his mind yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I guess hindi kasama sa bucket list ni Trump yung someone dumping a lot of US treasuries for this year. No? That's why he was caught off guard. But then how about you, Sir Renz? Ano yung thoughts mo with current property sector?
Ayun nga, dito naman sa no, sa okay. Yan. Okay, so sa property sector, no. So meron akong note dito na nilagay. Ayan. So yung real estate sector no, alam niyo kung sa mga nakakaalam no, talagang mahilig talaga ako sa mga depressed na mga sector. Naghahanap ako ng mga quality stocks doon. And yun nga, yung real estate sector natin, ng time na ni-review ko ito, over the past 5 years, ang average PE ratio ay nasa 16.4 times. While ng time na tignan ko ang kanyang PE ratios of the moment, ito ay nasa 10.3 times. So ito is nagsisignify na nasa undervalued category ang mga company. Now, the question is, bibilihin mo ba lahat ng mga real estate sector? Real estate stock? Definitely not. No? So you have to find a company doon sa sector na yun na nasa depressed para potentially over the long run, pag gumanda ang sector na yon, malaki ang kikitain mo. Parang ganun yung ginagawa kong strategy. Now, to give you an example, no? Now guys, itong mababangin ko na stock, this is not a recommendation na bilhin mo. No? And also, kung ayaw mo sa mga maliliit na market cap na company, stay away to this company. Now, itong kumpanya, nabili ko ito noong February, itong CPG. So if you are familiar, CPG, no? Now, what I really like sa company ito, ang kanyang PE ratio ng time na nabili ko ito ay nasa 2.4 times PE ratio. And ang average PE ratio ay nasa 6.4. Now, ito yung nag-signify para sa akin, dito pa lamang nakita ko na undervalued ang company. And pangalawa, mayroon silang cash available, strong cash flow. Mayroon silang sobrang malaking cash flow. Para sa akin, ito ay nagsisignify also ng future expansion. Pwede silang magbigay ng dividendo, pwedeng pangbayad ng utang, and so on and so forth. In short, pang-improve sa business. And also, over the last 12 months, no, yung company ay meron tong 3.2 billion pesos na free cash flow. Imagine, ang kanyang capex, kanyang market cap ay nasa 6 billion pesos lamang ng time na nakapag-invest ako dito. And today, yun nga, para sa akin, napaka-importante na if you are going to invest sa mga turnaround play, napaka-importante na pag-aaralan mo yung gaano ba, yung survivability nila, gaano ba ka taas, no? So paano mo ito makikita? Gaano ba kalaki muna yung utang? Pag alam mo na yung gaano kalaki yung utang, tignan mo kung gaano kalaki yung cash flow, yung free cash flow na meron sila. Gaano ba yung cash? Gaano ba kalaki yung cash available ng kumpanya din? Kapag itong dalawang ito ay sobrang ganda, definitely, kahit ano mangyari, kayang-kaya nilang makapag-recover. No? Now, noong time na binili ko ito, no, na company, so nabili ko siya sa um, 47 centavo, no? Nang time na ni-review ko, nang time na binili ko ito. And last na tingin ko, umabot ito ng 31. Nagkaroon ng bagsakan ng market. Last na tingin ko, ito ay nasa 19% na lang ang kinita ko dito today, no? Pero yun nga, I am very excited sa company na to para kasi if we are going to look, no, yung kanilang segment, yung horizontal nila ay nag-expand para sa akin. It is a good investment, no? Kaya nakita ko kasi dito sa Cavite, ang dami nilang ine-expand, kaya nakitaan ko ng potential. And also to give you idea kung paano maghanap din also ng mga stocks, tumingin ka lang sa paligid mo. Kung ano yung mga nag-expand, hanapin mo sa stock market, baka meron sila. Okay? And also, no, cash per share is very important. Kapag ang cash per share malapit doon sa kanilang current share price, you're eyeing for gold. Kumbaga, that's the metrics na ginagamit ko din to catch a company na magta-turn around.